Well, it's time now for short story shizzle. Tonight it's read by Alan Hilary, and tonight's tale is called Doctor No. Doctor No. Read by me, Alan Hilary. Oh, hell, I muttered to myself as the mechanical clamour of my old alarm clock roused me from a faraway place in the land of Nod. Today was indeed the day. I had finally arranged an appointment with my doctor, Savage of all names, with regards to my chronic insomnia problem. Last night had been another spectacular washout in terms of slumber, and once again the blasted clock had shattered my precious few hours' sleep into oblivion. My eyelids felt like they were galvanized together with superglue as I rose from my bed and plodded wearily to the bathroom. I proceeded to urinate as I tossed over the coming events of the day in my fogging brain. My aim was poor due to my exhaustion, and unfortunately some of the stream dampened the already acrid-smelling bath mat. Having washed and changed, I made myself my usual triple-strength, full-caffeine morning coffee in order to alleviate some of my tiredness. "This is not right," I babbled to nobody as I supped at my dark, strong coffee. I can tell you this much, I was not going to go back on the tablets, no matter how much Dr. Savage tried to fob me off like some minor irritant. The last time I'd been on those tablets, they'd made me feel as though I was a supervillain from some science fiction film. And in event, I'd gone down to the town centre, wielding a rolling pin and embarking on a wrecking spree at Pimlock's coffee shop. Well, the less said about that day, the sooner it's mended. Suffice it to say that I had to pay for the broken crockery and squashed custard donuts. In fact, in my town, a rolling pin is now considered a dangerous weapon when wielded in the hands of the insane. That story's for another time. This brings me to my reluctance to become what today's vagrant youth describe as pillheads. No, I won't be one of those, I thought to myself. Dr. Savage would need more than a hastily written prescription to pacify this old dog. I stepped out of my front door, full of hope that today would bring some positive steps to tackle my acute insomnia problem. I made my way to the bus stop, nibbling on a cereal bar to boost my flagging energy levels. When the bus turned up, I boarded it, and I was greeted by the usual pallid, miserable grimace of the driver who had spent too many years ferrying about uncouth school children. They brimmed with heady mixes of cockiness, a lack of respect for elders, and too many E-numbers. "Town Centre Clinic, please," I shouted to the bus driver. He automatically printed my ticket and grunted at me, which I took as a cheery good morning compared to his usual demeanour. Well, as always, the usual plain, mundane bus ride ensued. Drizzle pattered on the windows. Angry young mothers placated snivelling children with chewy sweets and promises of a go on the ride at the shops. The warm pulse of alcohol emanated from local deviants, foul-smelling cheap cider concealed in legal bags, racing posts sticking out of the back of jeans pockets. I shrank back into my seat, and pretended to fall asleep. Youths piled on the bus, showing off swearing, mouthing obscenities, and talking about spliffs and blowjobs. I finally reached the end of my tether and my destination, thankfully, at the same time. Otherwise, I would have had a nervous meltdown. Exiting the bus, I hurried over to the medical health centre to avoid the fine rain that soaks you right through. I pushed through the swing doors, glancing at my watch. As always, I was 5 minutes early. Well, when I sat down, the usual suspects gathered in the waiting area. A bearded man of around 60, tutting and shaking his head, looking at his watch. A girl of perhaps 16, tapping away at her mobile telephone continuously, coughing all the while and coughing loudly. 2 clucking old women harumphed and raised eyebrows in mock gesticulation. A selection of 10-year-old farming magazines gathered on the old dusty table, and a toy truck and half a bucket of stickle bricks had been laid on for children to play with. I approached the reception area at the doctor's surgery that day, only to let them know of my arrival. Nobody came, nobody ever did. But about 10 yards back from the reception, a score of women, ranging from the age of late 30s, possibly to early 60s, huddled together in a full circle a good 10 yards back from where they were supposed to be. They chuddered about coffee mornings and school runs, and what time were you going for your break. I lightly pressed a little bell for attention, whereupon one lady, a peroxide blonde, rakish, and much travelled and trowelled in thick makeup, shot me a look as though to say that I was the man that had ruined her childhood. I was the man that had told her Father Christmas didn't exist. Well, with a look like that, what man wouldn't have done what I did? Whereupon I beat a hasty retreat. I found myself a seat next to an old woman that smelled of lavender and cough candy. I hoped that Dr. Savage would hurry up and see me as I thumbed through an article on Jersey cows. This was going to be a long day, I thought to myself, as I needlessly sipped at a bottle of strong vodka concealed in the side of his coat in a little pit flask. I knew this was going to be a perilous morning. Doctor, no! Doctor! No. End of part 1. Nice cup of tea there. Nice cup of tea. That was a short story shizzle read by Alan Hilary, just in case you wanted to know. Alan Hilary, remember the name? Like Wayne Rooney a little bit, sort of thing. Remember?
Alan Hilary.
Look out!